Good morning, students. Welcome back. Let us start macroeconomics, meaning scope of microeconomics. In the last part, we discussed about the microeconomics. Now, here we are going to discuss the scope of microeconomics. Last part, I told you the meaning of macroeconomics. Macro is large. So, now let us understand the meaning of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the branch of economics which analyzes the entire country. That means the whole country. Whole country is being studied under macroeconomics. It deals with the total employment, national income, national output. Output means production, total investment, total consumption, total savings, general price level, interest rates, inflation, trade cycles, business fluctuations, etc. So, macroeconomics is the study of aggregates. Aggregates means total. So, total of national income, total of national output, total of investment, total consumption, everything, that is aggregates. So, macroeconomics deals with functioning of the economy as a whole. So, under macroeconomics, the study of whole economy is there. This can be asked for true or false. Now, let us understand the scope of macroeconomics. Under macroeconomics, we have to study theory of income and employment, theory of general price level and inflation, theory of economic growth and development, and macroeconomic distribution. Then theory of income and employment is divided into two parts, that is theory of consumption function, theory of investment function, and again the theory of business cycle. So these are the various points that we have to discuss. That is, this is what is the scope of macroeconomics. All those things are coming under macroeconomics. Let us discuss one by one. Number one, theory of income and employment. Macroeconomic analysis explains which factors determine the level of national income and employment, and what causes fluctuations in the level of income, output and employment. So here what you have to understand, that factors determine the level of national income. On which factor national income depends, then on which factor employment depends, then what are the causes which are there responsible for the changes in level of income. Fluctuations means changes in the level of income, changes in the level of output, changes in the level of employment. So all these study is there under macroeconomics. So theory of income and employment, this is the first point, first scope of macroeconomics. Second, theory of general price level and inflation. Inflation means price rises, that is what is called as inflation. So macroeconomic analysis shows how the general price level is determined. How the prices are determined, that you know that when demand and supply both are equal, that time the price is equilibrium, price is there, and that is how the price is determined. And it explains what causes fluctuations in it, why there are changes in the general price level. So macroeconomics is showing us how the general price level is determined and which causes are responsible for changes in the price level. Why the price is rising, why the price is falling. Okay, so that study is there under macroeconomics. The study of general price level is very important on account of the problems created by inflation, deflation. Inflation is price rise, deflation is price fall. So what causes are responsible for inflation and deflation, that also study is there. So the study of general price level is very very important. Why it is important? Because it can show us that which are the causes responsible for inflation, responsible for deflation, and which problems can come because of inflation, which problems will be there in the economy because of deflation. So problems and causes and solution, that all things are there under the study of macroeconomics. This is the second point in the question. Third point, theory of growth and development. Macroeconomics consists of theory of economic growth and development. Every country requires growth, whether there is a growth or not, whether there is a development or not, that the entire country's economic growth and economic development is studied under macroeconomics. It explains the causes of underdevelopment and poverty. See, if there is a growth, then how the growth can be expanded, that can be also studied. But if there is no growth, then which causes are responsible for underdevelopment, which causes are responsible for poverty, that study is there under macroeconomics. It also suggests strategies for accelerating growth and development. That means it suggests that which measures the government should take for the development and the growth of the economy, because government can take the various measures to accelerate. Accelerate means to increase the growth rate and the development rate in the economy. So that study is there under macroeconomics. And the last scope of macroeconomics is macro theory of distribution. Macro theory of distribution deals with the relative shares of rent, wages, interest, profit in the total national income. As I mentioned earlier, that there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and enterprise. So they are used in the process of production. So what is the share? Okay, the macroeconomics, the macro theory of distribution, it deals with the relative share of rent, because what land gets reward, that is in the form of rent. What labor gets reward, that is in the form of wages. What capital gets reward, that is in the form of interest. And what entrepreneur gets reward, that is in the form of profit. So what is the share of rent? How much is the rent in the economy? How much the share of rent is there? How much is the share of wages, interest and profits in the total national income? Because in the total national income, that we have to see that how much of the share of rent is there, how much of the share of wages is there, how much of the share of interest and profit is there. But that entire study is there under this macroeconomics. So the scope of macroeconomics, the question can be explain the scope of macroeconomics. You can directly go to the points, that point 1, theory of income and employment; second, theory of general price level and inflation; theory of growth and development; and macro theory of distribution. All the pointers you have to give. In this I told you only one point that can be asked for. This is true and false, that is macroeconomics deals with the functioning of the economy as a whole. Students understand, when macro comes, that means we are considering aggregates, whole economy. Okay, aggregates or the entire economy. Okay, so this can be asked for true and false. Thank you very much. I hope you understood the entire point very clearly.